Have you ever done business with family and friends? How did it go? Did it go well? Did it not go well? What are the things we should consider when doing business with family and friends?
It ended in premium, ultra tears.
Remove sentiment from business.
Hello, you're welcome to Gist Right Now. All we do is gist, and gist. We discuss topical, trending, and exciting topics, and we have fun while at it. We invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy each thrilling moment of gist, and gist.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to season 2 of Gist. So in this season, we still have our regular gisters. This is AMA, Adenike, AMA, and I have with me Cynthia and Dr. Ayotunde. We'll be talking, as usual, about a topic that every one of us likes, hopefully. So, first of all, we'd like to thank you for staying with us. Welcome to our new season. It's a new season, and we trust that we will all have great testimonies to share in this new season. So today's topic is doing business with relatives and friends. What are the pros and cons? I understand it's a sensitive topic. So I would just like to advise that if you are going to be sharing anything with us, please handle the matter delicately. Because obviously you can't call in yet, but if you're going to be sharing in the comments and all of that, please, we don't want to be settling matter after the gist. So please be as delicate as possible. So I'm going to ask Dr. Ayotunde, Cynthia, have you ever done business with family and friends? How did it go? Did it go well? Did it not go well? What are the things we should consider when doing business with family and friends? How do we protect ourselves? Protect ourselves, and how do we ensure that it doesn't end in premium tears? Or in cases where it has ended in tears, how do we minimize the effects? So obviously, we're going to be unpacking all of those things. So welcome again to season 2. Thank you.
Hello, and thank you for welcoming me to season 2. Definitely enjoyed season 1, and I hope that we can have as much fun recording and just gisting as we had in season 1. So without further ado, I will be going into the discussion for the day, which is going into business with family and friends. Have I ever done so? Well, I haven't gone into business with my family before, but I have gone into business with my friend before. So this person was my colleague turned friend, and it was a wonderful business opportunity that we both cited, and we decided to take advantage of. The business model was such that, the way that I sort of looked at the business model, what happened was I put in okay, so the reason why I'm going to explain what happened to the business is just really to answer the question of how did it end. It ended in premium, ultra tears. It ended badly. I was badly burnt, and I was just very, very angry. I felt like I should never have gone into the business venture with this person. But in retrospect, it is a lesson learned, because if I had not gone through that particular situation or scenario, I wouldn't have known what I now know about business. I won't rule out going into business with family or friends. However, I know the kinds of framework that I need to put in place if I do intend to do that. So just briefly, without giving too much away, I want to explain what happened with the other I want to explain what happened with this situation so that you can get an idea of why things went wrong. So basically, the business framework that we had discussed was for me to put in all the capital. My role in the venture was procurement. So I came up with all of the capital, and I procured all that we. Well, okay, so let me just explain. So I'm not just blabbing around. It was basically a fabric business. So I realized that there was a market for Nigerian Ankara fabrics in Kenya, and so I'd worked a bit in Kenya, and then I decided with my friend that I could purchase Nigerian fabrics here, and then I'll send to her in Kenya. She would sell, and so we agreed on a cost. We did all of the costing and everything. At the end of the costing, the profit that we're going to be making it was in a range of about between 50 to about 30%, some lower, but roughly between 50 to 30% profit, and which was a decent margin, So so the way it worked was I put down all of the capital, and I made the purchases here and sent. She was supposed to do all of the sales, and then when she's done all of the sales, send back the capital and my share of the profit based on the formula that we had agreed. We had agreed on everything. I had everything in sort of WhatsApp. So although we spoke verbally, I ensured that everything was written around, all of that shenanigan. And so we did that. I upheld my own end of the bargain, did what I was supposed to do, and sent it to her. And she started selling and everything. So when she was gone, like to a quarter of the way, I did reach out to her and say, look, let me have the what's it called? The breakdown of what has been sold and whatever. We used to have this document that showed whatever you had prepared the document. She was just supposed to enter what she has sold and everything like that. So she was supposed to send that back to me and so that I could cross check, and then let's see where we are at. Send the money you made and all of that. And story began. Starts the end at the laptop where she wrote everything down was in her boyfriend's house. She and her boyfriend had issues. He's locked her out. Okay, I said no problem. He has locked you out. I sent my money back now. Madam said, and that because of the dear situation she was in, she has used the money to rent an apartment. And this is someone that did not even inform me that she wanted to use my money to rent an apartment. I didn't know about this, not until I started harassing her seriously for the money. So I felt really, really hurt and everything. Although it took a while, almost a year, I think, for her to eventually send me some part of the money, not really everything, but I just took what she could send me, and I felt very bad. I felt so, used. That I felt so used. I just felt so used, really. And so that experience has taught me that if I would, not even if, I know I'm definitely going to go into business with my family, because we are currently in talks and everything. So I know in the next 2 to 3 years I would go into business with my sibling. Now the particular this particular scenario I'm talking about happened about 5 years ago, and I feel like I have grown from it. I have learned from it. I sometimes wish that I didn't go through it, but now in retrospect, if I didn't go through that kind of situation, I wouldn't have known what I know now. I wouldn't know things to put in place, basically, for me not to suffer the kind of fallout or that happened back then. Now, the lessons I've learned, I think I've learned 2 major ones. Number one is to put in a very strong framework, written framework. Whatever you guys agree on or decide, make sure you put it pen to paper and have both parties sign it. Make sure that every party has what they think, what they hope, what they're expecting for. Make sure they have it covered into the contract. Both parties must be okay with it and sign it, and make sure it is legally binding. Make sure it is legally binding. Make sure it is legally binding. Now, secondly is I think that when you're going into a venture where capital is involved, as opposed to what I did where I put everything down, I think that I would prefer that both parties chip in the capital, chip in something, just so that if things go awry, it's not as if it's just one person that will be burnt. So, in my next proposed venture, definitely would, be expecting all of the parties involved, if we are more than two, all of the parties involved to put in capital into, to contribute to the pool, so that everyone has a vested financial interest in the venture. So if I remember something else, I would mention it as we go along.
Hi, Adenike. Hi, Cynthia. Hello, everyone. Oh, wow. It's so good to be back here for season 2. Season 1 was good, and I believe that season 2 will even be better. Thank you, everyone, for the support you gave to us in season 1, and we ask that you keep supporting us in season 2 and beyond. Thank you for all you do. All right, so let's get to the business. Okay, so doing business with family and friends. Okay, I'll start by saying that I'm not quite business oriented, as it were, so I don't really have an experience, in the area of getting into business partnership, with a family member or a friend. I don't have an experience in that. There was a time I thought I wanted to sell something. Well, I did eventually sell, but then initially I felt that I should probably partner with a friend who I believed, had the ginger that I would require, So I was like, oh, if she has a ginger, to kind of like motivate me and then to advertise and stuff like that, okay, then we can roll together. So we put stuff together. We started, in a very little way, of course, and but then along the line, I put the plug on the whole thing. And it wasn't because of any serious issue. I just, noticed that, well, at the end of the day, the ginger was, I had the ginger, that I thought I didn't have to actually, put word out there. Well, we are selling this, I'm selling this, oh, blah, 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 and stuff like that. And then the ginger to, actually get things done. And I thought, well, so I can actually do this on my own if I really want to do it. And then, of course, I also discovered that it seemed like we might have, different ideas of the things that we want to sell. Or there were, we shall. I thought that we weren't at par, in certain areas, and so that there won't be clash of, the titans at some point. So I just thought, well, if I want to do this, I can do this on my own. I've seen, the ginger that I thought I didn't have. So I just pulled the plug, and then I went ahead and sold, jelly shoes for a while. It was pretty cool at that time, but then I still don't think that's my calling. So that's resting in the cooler for now. Maybe sometime in the future, sure. So I don't have any premium tier experience as far as entering or getting into business partnership with friends or family. No, I don't. So sorry, Adenike, I don't have any experience to share with you as regard that. But of course, business also has to do with, probably buying from a family member or a friend, or even selling to them. So I think I have experience in that. Like I said, I sold shoes, jelly shoes, and I had friends and family patronize me. And then, of course, I've also had to patronize family and friends. My sister sells fabric, so I've bought fabric from her. She used to sell shoes. I bought shoes from her. I bought stuff from my friends, who sell. If my friend has anything that I need and, they are selling, of course, I'll patronize them. So I have experience in that. But then again, I don't think that I have any premium tier experience, with any of that stuff. And, to answer that question, that how do we protect ourselves, from such horror experiences? or from experiences that we look at or that we look back at with regret or something like that. The only thing that I think I want to say about that is to remove sentiment from business. I think if we remove sentiments from business, then things should go smoothly. Because if you want to, I mean, if you're engaging with someone you don't, know, before that business deal and all of that, I'm talking about if if you were dealing with a stranger or someone that you got introduced to, or any of that, you're going to put necessary measures in place, right? And you're going to do the right thing too by them. So you're not going to act according to sentiments. So why not also do the same when you're dealing with a family or a friend? Get sentiments out of the way. It's business. Business is business. Okay? So don't I feel that sentiments actually spoil a lot of things, because with business, I think people it's better to be more rational, more logical when it comes to business than emotional. So if you're doing business with emotions, then it might end in premium tears. So get emotions or sentiments out of the way and just do business with pure conscience. Okay, don't defraud anyone and don't seek to exploit anyone, and all will be well. That's what I think. I think if sentiment is out of the way, then everything should be all right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cynthia, for your very, very, detailed response. Thank you for delivering delicately without naming names and pointing fingers. It takes a particular type of skill to be able to share without oversharing. And I'd just like to say thank you for that. So I love the points you marshaled. They're quite clear, because many times when we tell the stories of how things ended in premium tiers, you find out that somewhere in the middle of all of that is us not doing a bit of due diligence and all. And I'm glad you identified some of the things you could have done better. That made it a bit less acrimonious, and I like that very much. And thanks, Doc, for sharing. I just want to point out, Doc, that you and I actually have a business dealing that has not ended in premium tiers, because I think both of us have been as respectful to the friendship as possible without going against a few rules of engagement for business. And Cynthia, I have a question for you before we kind of close out on this topic. It's a delicate one, but I'm glad that it hasn't degenerated in any way. So the question I have is this. You said that people should ensure that they come up with agreements that are legally binding. So can you throw more light on what you mean by legally binding? Examples would be helpful at this point. What do you mean by legally binding? Thank you. And yeah, Doc, if you have anything more to add, I would like to hear more from you. Any other thoughts? Have you thought of something else that could be done to make business go smoother? No. Thanks, Doc. Thanks, Cynthia.
All right. Since you mentioned that yourself and Ayotunde have, business dealing that has not ended in premium tiers, kudos to you guys. And Amada's also mentioned that I remember about 4 years ago, I believe. I think about 4 years. It should be up to 4 years now. I had a function to do, and I needed lace in a lot of quantities. So it was like Ashwebi stuff, and I needed a lot of them. And I remember that Ayotunde had been reposting and posting our sister's business. So our sister sells fabrics. And so I remember that, I'd seen this on social media, and she had shared it on her Instagram, WhatsApp status. So I reached out to her and asked her, if she could give me her sister's contact and all of that. And I sent a message to her sister on WhatsApp. I believe, and I also went to check her Instagram pages. And I remember that the time I did this was when the time that all these Instagram vendors were showing people shaggy. And I remember that one of the reasons, to be honest, why I engaged with her was my trust in. I mean, Ayotine was my friend, was my very good friend, and I trusted her. I kind of extended that to a sibling or to the person that I was doing business with, because I just felt like the person was not going to swindle me, I believe. And, I don't think we had a lot. I can't remember exactly what happened during our transaction, but I don't think we had a lot of like back and forth like that. I was very, I knew, I'd seen what I wanted, reached out to her. This is what I want. How much can you give me per piece? It's a lot. And before everything went smoothly, I actually sent, I believe, all of the money. I can't remember, but I think I sent all of the money before she even dispatched. And I believe it was even something that I had to wait a while for a factory to make, which was out of the country, and she ended up sending it to me, sent it to my home address. And to be honest, our dealing went pretty smoothly. We didn't have any issues. I didn't have any concern, and everything went well. And so I just wanted to make that note, that trust as well. Either way, we have to trust. Right now, there are Instagram vendors that say that if you don't pay, you won't get service or products. That's the vendor telling the buyer to trust them. And then, I don't think that works here, because they are actually strangers. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that point, that I did business with somebody based on my friendship with Ayatunde. Now to your question on what is legally binding. It's not anything grand as such. Simply a document showing the names of the legal names of both parties, highlighting or stating what the nature of business that you're both going into is, stating the expectations from both parties. If it's a business that has money involved, explaining how you're going to generate or come up with the capital. If there will be profit, what is the projected profit? What is the sharing solutions? If there are tasks and functions expected from both parties, explaining what they are in print. And when you are done, create a space where both parties can sign against their names. Also create a space for a witness or two. If both parties can agree on one witness, fine. If they cannot agree on a witness, then they can put two witnesses, one person from each party. And I'm saying this if there are two parties. If there are more than two, please also state this. Now, some people might say that this is far-reaching, or this is a lot and all of that. It's just that I don't know. I don't want to be blunt when it comes to my money anymore. That's why I am saying this. I don't want to be blunt. And sometimes I can take out the witness. We can decide. Or I don't know. I just prefer in print, where we both sign against our names. You don't have to be with biro. There's this thing now, PDF editor, so you can always edit and you can always sign with PDF editor. So yeah, I guess that explains it. There is no one size fits all. Some people will prefer to just do emails, acknowledge my email and all of that. That's fine. That's okay. If that's okay by you, go ahead and do that one. But I prefer the one that I just explained. Thank you.
Oh, yes, that's true. Adenike is my book vendor. Yes, we do have a business deal that I know will not end in premium tiers. Lie, that won't happen. I am sure of that. Um, well, so guys, I do have an ebook. It's a short story titled "Give Me a Husband or I'll Die." Okay, so it's a short story, like I said, but I think it's interesting and it's worth reading. So please just give me a shout out or Adenike, and then we'll tell you how to get the book. Thank you very much. I'm expecting, you to come say, hey, how about that book I want to buy? Thank you in advance. All right. And thank you so much, Cynthia, for that vote of confidence. I remember now that you did business with my sister through me, and a lot of people have actually done business with my sister through me, and I'm really grateful for the fact that none of them has returned to say, oh, my experience was bad, or had any reason to regret doing business with my sister. So a shout out to every one of you. Thank you so much, for doing business with me one way or the other. Thank you for your patronage. Let's continue in this line. So more business, more money. Thank you so very much. Okay, so well, I'll just say that in addition to what I said earlier about taking sentiments out of business, I also think that people should, like I always say, and I've said it, on this platform too, should learn to maintain boundaries. I think a lot of relationships go awry because people just don't, don't just respect boundaries. And I mean, there are boundaries. There are always boundaries in every relationship. So don't say because, oh, this person is my person, is my family, is my friend, mini, those kind of things. And then you just behave anyhow, thinking that they should not mind because you guys are from the same womb, or you guys you hail from the same community, or you guys, are from the same family or something, or we are friends. No, I mean, it won't work. Could it work? Yes, I don't think, it will work if we behave, or if we don't put, others into consideration, and we just act simply because we feel that they are close to us, they are my people, our people, and so we should just they will understand. No, act appropriately. Don't expect another person to understand. Just do the right thing. I mean, and everything will be fine. Do to others what you want others to do to you. That's my mantra. But then I would also like us to probably, now that Adenike has asked me if there are if there's some there are other things I would like to say, and I know, yes, it's sensitive, but then we do business with these people, our families, our friends, and all of that. So I just think we should maybe get to the nitty-gritty of some of what that entails. So I would like us to talk about patronizing, our family and friends. For instance, is it compulsory that I patronize my family member? Is it compulsory that I patronize my friend? Can I take my business elsewhere? Would it be regarded as not cool? I just want to know, because I know that I've had 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5, persons express maybe certain type of displeasure that friends don't patronize them, or family don't patronize them, and all of that. And I want to know what's your opinion, or let's just discuss it. Is it a must? And if you are the one doing business, should you feel, yes, that's what, should you feel offended if your family member doesn't patronize you, or if your friend doesn't patronize you? I just, just to get a feel of it, how should we go about that? And then I also want us to talk about, buying stuff on credit, from my family and friends. Now, the question isn't really about, getting the stuff on credit, because I know that many people do that. It's not like, it's a wrong thing, because sometimes you don't have the cash at hand. Okay, and because of your familiarity with this person, you are able to take that stuff and then you get to pay later. Everybody, well, I won't say everybody does it, because I don't know what everybody does, but I know that quite a number of people do that. So that's okay. But then the issue really is in paying, as at when due. So what should our reactions be, or how should we handle such things? Because now you could find someone who would not, do what they expected to do at the right time or at the time that they promised. How should we go about, such things? Because the question really is, how do we do business with family and friends that it would not eventually degenerate and end in premium tears? So how do we manage such situations? And then the last thing that comes to mind now is about price. So your family or your friend says, this is my asking price. Should you expect, some reduction? Should you? Yes, of course, you would argue like normal, generally, if you go to buy something and say, this is the price, if it's not a mall, a supermarket or something, you will say, you try to argue the price and everything like that. But then should you expect some very low price or some very high reduction simply because the person is your family or your friend? You expect, for instance, if somebody is selling something, let's say for 100 naira, and if on a normal day the person would go as low as 80 naira, that's what the person would settle with, if they are doing business with outsiders. But then should you as a family member expect the person to give it, for 50 naira simply because you are family or your friend? Can we just discuss around this? What are your thoughts? What are the right ways, to approach these issues? Thank you.
Cynthia, thank you so much for explaining what you mean by legally binding. That was quite insightful. Quick question before I move on to addressing Doc's point. If someone is unwilling to put pen to paper, would you consider that a showstopper, or can one still kind of continue with a few more, as an alternative? If someone says, oh, they are not willing to put pen to paper or even sign PDF or anything, that they just expect you to trust them because you're friends, is it a red flag? Is it something that should make you say, oh, let's put a halt on this, or can you find a way around it? So let me move on to Doc. Doc, by God's grace, our business will not spoil. Thanks for that golden rule that you shared. And to answer the questions that Dr. Ayotunde brought up, first of all, personally, when I need stuff, I usually first of all check to see if my family members and friends can meet the need, and as in they will come to mind, and if I believe it's practical, I will do it, because for me, they are close enough. It's not like it's a must, but personally, at least I know that my friends, people around me, they are less likely to run away with my money than that Instagram vendor, or all those story of you saying that you pay what I paid versus what I paid for versus what I ordered. With my family members and friends, most often than not, I can see what I'm paying for. So I'm more likely to actually go with a family member or friend or someone close by to buy stuff than to go on Instagram. But then, it's not cast in stone. But speaking personally, I'm more likely to patronize my family members and friends because I know them, and I do a bit of business consulting. And one of the things that we tell people that will tell vendors and all this that you should work on your KLT, which is that the people that want to buy from you, do they know you? Do they like you? Do they trust you? So whatever you're doing, you need to consider those. But this is not a business coaching class. So if I wanted to, I'll tell you that you should come and pay for me to do, but I'm not doing that anymore. I'm picking my clients carefully before they will come and start dragging somebody on Instagram, the things that my eyes have seen. Okay, well, as for buying on credit, be guided, or selling on credit, be guided. Be very guided. Personally, this is my personal decision anyway. I don't like a case where maybe, like, if I buy stuff from you and I haven't paid fully, if you give it to me, I won't use it until I finish paying fully. Or if I can't, I'll leave it with you until I finish paying fully, so that it won't be a case of only basic. They were waiting, never pay for. But that's personal. But I cannot legislate on what other people do with themselves. So if you're going to sell to your family members and friends on credit, you have to know the kind of person you're dealing with. If the person is a chronic debtor, you have to be wise and know how to manage. That would be my thoughts. But of course, I'd like to hear what Cynthia has to say. And I also like to hear from the audience. Feel free to drop us a note on that. And the question you asked, Doc, about discounts. So if my relative gives me a healthy discount, that would be great. So for example, one of my colleagues' wives, I normally buy face masks from her. I found out that her price is even cheaper than what I was getting on Jumia, and I don't have to worry about delivery and all that extra drama. So obviously I buy from her. And then there was a time I started and she was like, oh, I've been a good customer. So she gave me a healthy discount. According to my cousin, I have a cousin that will say, Egbeni fento fat yo. But obviously be guided. I don't know how to translate that deep Yoruba to English, but of course, if you get a good discount from family members and friends, get from them. But you also want to, because they are your family members and friends, if their businesses are run to the ground because they've been giving you discounts, they'll come and beg you for money. So if you see that they are, I remember I made clothes with someone, and the price she gave me was ridiculously low in my opinion. And of course, I could have just said, oh, discount, IFA, and move on. But yeah, she gave me the IFA or the discount. But I was like, Madam, are you doing this business right? Because if she goes broke, it's me she will come and beg for money. So let's have the conversation up front and let's see what we need to do properly. If my family member or friend is giving what I think is an unsustainable discount, I probably will flag it and raise it with them. So I have a few questions that I would like Dr. Ayotunde and Cynthia to also address. So if there's a case, for example, there's a case where one's family member or friend is selling things at a higher price than the fair market price, how do you manage that? And they know that you need it, maybe because you've asked them about it, and you also compare prices and you find out that the price they are giving you is higher than what you would get in the market. Or in another case, if your family member or friend is selling things, but the quality of what they are selling for the price they're selling it is far below what one can get in the marketplace or on Instagram or something. Well, I don't like to say Instagram because you won't be able to test if the quality is the same on Instagram. But for example, if you've gone to the market or just a random market search and you find out that, let's say it's a rechargeable fan, for example, you want to buy, and you've checked the market and market price, or you've checked the market price is ABC, and what your people are giving you is far higher, or the quality of what they are giving you versus what you get in the market is lower. How do you manage such scenarios? Cynthia, Doc, over to you.
All right, looks like a lot of things that I have to give my opinion on, so I'm going to try to be as brief, on each as possible. Now, first, would I do business with friends and family, definitely I'll do business with them if it is, if it's what I need in terms of quality and price. Definitely I would definitely, go for that group first. Not only would my need be met, but it is also a show of support to the person involved. Now, I do not think it is a must. I have to feel like doing business with you, and the product or service you are offering has to be to the standard at which I require, or it has to be acceptable by me. I will not patronize you with if what you're offering is just not, what I need, money wise or standard wise, I'm sorry, but I will not be patronizing you. If I am asked why I did that, I will definitely explain to the person. So I don't have any issues with that. Also, when you asked what would be my reaction, if my friend or family who has purchased something, maybe they're not holding the end of the bargain, or probably not paying up when they're taking something on credit. I think that because they're your friend or family, I would think show them courtesy by sort of asking them very calmly first, like, how far, what's up, and everything. It depends on their response. If they respond in a reasonable way, although I'll be pissed because I had to reach out first before I got, and it's not even because I'm my friend or family, it's just what I would do normally. If I have to reach out first to find out, and why you're not holding up your end of the bargain, it pisses me off. If you have a problem or something is wrong, please can you reach out to me first? So yes, I'll reach out to them first, depending on what their response is. Then I would know what next to do. Before I go guns out and everything, I'll look at the amount of money involved. Is this something I can forgo? And even if I'm going to decide to forgo it, obviously means that I would not put myself in such situations ever again. So I would take the person in question into consideration, take the amount of money into consideration, know if it's worth it. But if it is, for me, if the money, if the money is important to me, I would definitely go out, guns blazing and all of that. Now, I do share Adenike's thoughts on her not using stuff that she has bought. If it's a product, until when she has paid for it. Generally, I don't like buying things on credit. I don't want to say I have never bought things on credit, but I'm not too sure. But even if I do, I would keep such items until when I have fully paid for it, so that I can come out and I know that this is all of my money. Same with services as well. Honestly, if I don't have money at hand, I would hardly go to where a business, whether friends or family or even stranger, where such is being offered without having what to pay, in exchange for the service I've been offered or product. So I wouldn't, just like Adenike has said, I wouldn't do that. Now, on whether I would ask for further discounts beyond what is being offered me from a friend or a family. So typically, whether friend or family, even if I go out to buy something, I would normally bargain. So I won't be doing anything different from that. Sometimes though, I joke with maybe my friend, I'm like, is there friends discounts, there family discounts? And I don't say that in a way to insist, on getting such discounts. If it's not available, you tell me it's not available, fine, everybody moves on. I want to buy something from you, I'll buy something from you. Obviously, probably before I'm even asking for discounts, I obviously already know your price point, and I probably know that it is within my affordable range, so I'll be fine with it. I don't have to use the Yoruba word tenumoro. I don't have to price it beyond the reason or expect unreasonable discounts from you. For me, it doesn't make sense. Like I said earlier as well, purchasing from friends or family is also a form of support, so I must be able to support almost at the same level as a stranger would. And let me take Adenike's your other questions before I go back to the to the pen to paper we're discussing, to the legal documents. Now you've asked what to do in a case where a family or friend is selling or is offering a service at a higher price than the market price, or what I would get, if I wasn't purchasing from them. It's not compulsory to buy it though. Whatever I'm buying, it's my money. As in my own money. I didn't steal the money, it's my money. I have to be okay with it. If the higher price that the person is giving me is at a higher quality than what I'm getting outside, then I understand that. If the higher price, so sometimes, I mean, let me give an example. Let's assume that I have a friend or family that is a tailor, for example, and they are probably offering to sew at a higher price than what I would get outside. If it is not affordable for me, I would obviously go to the one outside. Now, if I need to sew something at a short notice, and I know fully well that that person outside cannot, is not going to be able to live up to, it's not going to deliver within the time frame I have, and I have the money to pay my friend or family, of course I'm going to go ahead and patronize the person. I don't think it makes sense now and say, X person outside, they used to do for 5,000 or whatever, but your own, can you bring it down, to this amount or whatever. I mean, you get what you get what I'm trying to say. I wouldn't do that. Everything I'm doing has to be I must be willing to pay for it. So it depends on the situation. I can pay for the friend or family if it is what I need and can afford at the time. If it is also the one outside that I can afford, I will definitely go for this person. You also asked what to do, and if I'll patronize a friend or family if they are offering a low quality on their products or services than what I will get outside. My answer is no. If I have someone else to satisfy such need in terms of service or product, I will definitely go for the person. If maybe push come to shove, if push come to shove, if my friend or family, for example, is a barber and I need to cut my hair, I know that I will cut it better outside. But say for example, I need to, let's say, jump on a Zoom and I need to have a clean shave head, and they know that this person cannot really cut well, but at least they can cut decently for me to get on Zoom. Of course, I'm going to patronize the person now, as I don't have any choice. So it really depends on the scenario. But all things being equal, I don't think anybody should be under the compulsion, or it should be compulsory to patronize a friend or family. Now I'll go back to what Adenike said about asking me what I would do in a situation where a proposed partner is refusing to put pen to paper or sign a legal document. First, I would like to know the reason why why the person does not want to sign it or does not want to put pen to paper. For me, if the reason is plausible, then please can the person come up with other several ways that we can document our agreement. It may not be pen to paper. If the person is willing to do, maybe you are willing to appear in a video. I'm just saying, you're willing to appear in a video with me, saying that, okay, on this day, I've seen those as legal tenders as well. On this day, blah, 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 I, Cynthia Abayomi, is entering into a binding agreement with Adenike, blah, 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 and we agree to, I've seen such happen. So if the person is refusing to do that, I'd like to know the reason, why, and then, the person should prefer or offer other solutions or ways that we can document our agreement. And if I agree with the options, then, we can go ahead. Like I said, when I spoke about this initially, it is not by force. It's not set in stone. It could, just depending on the situation per time. I can definitely I can shift ground. I'm not stuck on that. So that's about it. Thank you.
Nice point, Adenike and Cynthia. And of course, I do share your sentiments. If a family member or a friend has a good service, product, or what have you to offer, I will definitely patronize them than patronize an outsider. Okay, but then of course it will be that what is being offered is needed by me. That's if I need what is being offered, and if I like what is being offered, it's important. I don't put my money on things that I do not like. If I don't like it, I ain't buying it. But if I like it and if I need it, because that one too is important. If you buy something you don't need, then it's more like you have wasted your money. I can support, patronizing is a way of support, of showing support, as Cynthia mentioned. But then I can support you in other ways. I can help you, for instance, advertise. I can help you, promote whatever it is that you're offering. So I can do that for you. I don't necessarily have to buy if I don't need it or if I don't like it. But if I need it and I like it, of course, you are my customer for life. I will just stick to you. I will go for my friend or my family first before I consider an outsider. Now, with regards to buying on credit, I also share the same sentiment. If I ever, have to buy something and I have not paid for it, fully, just like Adenike and of course Cynthia, I've said, I am not going to use that stuff until the money is paid in full. I won't use it because I believe it doesn't belong to me until I've paid in full. So when I pay in full, I can now, start using it. In fact, just like Adenike, I would rather the person holds on to it. But then some people, we just say, no, hold it, because some people, in fact, if they hold on to it, they may sell it or something like that. So if the person insists that I should take it, I will, but then I'm not going to use it until I have paid for it. Now, if you are the one, if I'm the one selling, and a family or a friend takes on credit and they are not coming up with payment when they say they are coming up, I agree with Cynthia that in this kind of things, one also has to learn patience. So we in our relationships, we learn a great deal of patience. We learn to be patient with one another. So yeah, of course, you be patient. Hopefully, they won't wear your patience out. So you can just bear with such persons until they are able to pay. And hopefully, again, it's not like habitual with them. And that's where being guided comes in. Just like Adenike mentioned, you have to be guided. So if it's habitual, and you know that you cannot stomach such things, it's better not to do business with such persons. That's the truth. Like I said, take sentiments out of business if you don't want it to end in premium tiers. Now, I also want to stress what Cynthia said about, an individual being the one to take responsibility. If you take something on credit and you're not able to come up with the money when you promise to pay, then be responsible enough to tell that person that, oh, sorry, this is what is happening. We know that circumstances, that are unseen sometimes, just crop up. But then let the person know. Don't wait until the person comes to tell you how far now. It's really not nice. Honestly, it's not nice to be in that position where you're the one, who keeps asking how far with the money, how far with the money. It's not, because last, God forbid, if the old master disintegrates or degenerates, that person becomes like the bad cop, more or less. So it's not a good place to be in. Don't put people, in awkward positions. Like I mentioned earlier, be considerate of other people. So don't say because it's my family member, because it's my friend, and they should understand. They should not understand anything. You do the right thing. So if you're not able to come up with the money for one reason or the other, let them know, reach out to them, and then don't now let it drag on, let it drag for eternity or something like that. Don't take people for granted. Don't take people for granted. So find means of making sure that as soon as possible, you make the payment. But of course, if it becomes habitual, the person, if somebody is habitually or perpetually mischievous like that, and you keep doing business with them, then, because for me, I don't do business and be grumbling, at the back. No, now, do business smartly. Do, what you can afford. So in terms of, discount, yeah, give discounts, but then make sure that you're not, giving ridiculously low discounts that will now make you start grumbling, at the back. I'll be saying, hey, it's because it's you. If it's not, I don't usually say, sell your thing the way you would sell it, to an outsider, at least for that price that you would settle for, if it was an outsider that that you were transacting business with. Don't say because if you have to now start grumbling at the end of the day, what's the point? Just again, take sentiment out of business. And family member and friend too, don't expect ridiculously low price, or don't expect them to give you such discount that is not profitable to them, simply because they are your family and your friend. I personally don't, of course, it's not like I don't haggle or try to ask for discount. Yes, I do it once in a while, but generally I try not to. I just try not to, because I think subconsciously I always try to avoid I don't want to see that I'm taking anybody for granted or taking advantage. I am always careful about that. Okay. So, and then to Adenike's question, if my family member, my friend, is selling at a higher price, and I know that the same thing is being sold, the same quality, everything is being sold elsewhere, at a much lower price, I won't buy from any family and friend. Because am I picking money from the ground, or am I plucking money from the tree? Everybody's looking for money. Those people that are selling it at a much lower price, they are already making profit, isn't it? So how is it? What kind of profit are you making that your own price is higher? No, even if it's in front of you that the person is selling at a lower price, I'll go and buy it from that person. That's the truth of the matter. Except maybe you are buying from them and reselling. Okay, I don't know why your own price will be higher and other people's prices are lower. No, I won't to. And then, of course, if the quality is also not, at par, no, I'm not going to. It's a waste of money. I'm not going to waste my money. I'm not plucking money from the tree. No, I won't. So, but anyway, I just think that, it's all about mutual understanding. It's all about, not taking other people for granted. It's all about doing to others what we want others to do to us. So if you're patronizing your friend and your family, take sentiments out of it. Do not disregard people's feelings. Do to them what you would like them to do to you. And all should be fine. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cynthia and Dr. Ayotunde. Quite a lot of things to unpack there, but time is not our friend anymore. So I'll just like to round up. Sorry, this one has to be done kind of sharp. That's part of the behavioral season 2. We are trying to cut down the number of minutes we spend on our podcasts. So thank you very much for listening to us. We would love to hear from you. How have you managed doing business with family and friends, credit, substandard products, etc.? We would love to hear from you. Thank you very much for your time. And continue listening to Gist Arena.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of Gist Arena. We hope you enjoyed the topic discussed. Please drop your comments and let us know what you think about it. We'll definitely love to hear from you. Until next time, Bye.